What's up everybody, my name is Chris, and if you've seen my last few videos, I've talked a lot about different types of microphones. But today I want to cover all of these microphones in one video, telling you about the different purposes of these different microphones and what kind of use cases you might want to use any of these for. I'm going to refer back to the last few videos on my channel for this purpose because there I am discussing different types of microphones more in depth, comparing them between each other for different purposes, and also showing you sound samples. In this video, however, we are going to go over each and every single one of these types of microphones that I have here to let you know kind of like what use case you might want to choose which one of these microphones for. With this, I'm especially looking at price point, versatility, sound quality, and of course also what purpose do they serve best. Now let's start with some very unusual kinds, and that are the headphones that either come with your iPhone or the AirPods that I have right here. Now, why would I even want to talk about these sets where they're not even intended to be used as microphones and they're just basically used for calls, if even that? Now, the reason I want to take a look at these and wanted to compare them is that these are sometimes included in your phone's package, or you probably already have some type of headset lying around. Now in my comparison, and you can check out the massive comparison video that I uploaded with timestamps where you can check out the different sound of these different types of microphones for yourself. Now there I actually found that these types of microphones, the EarPods here that are cable bound, are actually quite usable if you wanted to, and they are a step up from just having your phone. If you want to start, that's a way to go. Now on the other hand, with the Bluetooth AirPods, and these are the version number 1, so the original ones, I would not recommend to use these in any way for any type of video work or audio work whatsoever. These sound like the audio gets compressed even on the headphones themselves and then sent over Bluetooth to the phone and then recorded. So these sound terrible for the purpose of increasing your audio quality. You're mostly going to be better off just using your inbuilt microphone on the iPhone or whatever phone you're using. So stay away from these type of Bluetooth headphones or test them yourself to hear whether or not that is actually an improved quality versus just using the inbuilt microphone. Now from there, let's take a look at something like the SmartLav Plus. This is a Lavalier microphone specifically made to be connected to a smartphone. Of course, with iPhones, you'll need the adapter to Lightning, and if you wanted to, you can also connect an additional adapter to also be able to charge and use this at the same time. But there's a video for that on my channel as well, you can look that up. Now specifically talking about Lavalier microphones, they are intended to be clipped to the speaker's collar like so, sometimes even hidden away under clothing, and they are microphones that stay with the source. So essentially, if you have this clipped to a person and then either with a wired or wireless connection connected to your camera or your smartphone, then you can walk around and use this type of microphone very easily. Most of the Lavalier microphones are omnidirectional, which means that no matter how you face the microphone, it is going to pick you up quite nicely. Now combining something like the Rode SmartLav Plus or Lavalier Go or any other kind of Lavalier microphone with something like the Rode Wireless Go or the Comica BoomX, then you will have a wireless setup. That gives you the opportunity to move about in front of your camera without worrying whether or not you face the camera. There are no cables you can trip over, and overall it is a setup that gives you a lot of flexibility. Oftentimes this also helps you just keeping the microphone close to the audio source. So for a setup like I have right here, for example, I have my microphone mounted right here out of frame, which is the VideoMic NTG, and that usually would also be put on top of my camera. So if that's the case and the distance gets greater, then I would also want to start using something like this because it stays with me and it doesn't matter how far away from the camera I get. So that is the purpose of wireless microphones like the Rode Wireless Go or BoomX-D with something like a Lavalier microphone. For this, I specifically have a video comparing the Wireless Go with the SmartLav Plus and the Comica BoomX-D2, which is a set that consists of 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. To check that out, there's a link in the description below. Then we also have microphones like I mentioned just now, the Rode VideoMic NTG and the Deity VideoMic D3 Pro. There I also have a dedicated video comparing these two microphones. They are kind of like these long tube microphones. They are shotgun microphones, basically picking up sound from in front of the microphone and mostly rejecting from the sides as well as from behind. This is very versatile if you have something mounted on top of your camera and want to record whatever is in front of it. Either that's a sound source like a moving car or any action, for example, or also someone speaking or even yourself vlogging. This is a very popular type of microphone for those instances. Between the two microphones, I would recommend the Rode VideoMic NTG, which is more versatile, has a better feature implementation, and also, in my opinion, sounds a little better. And then moving over to the last type of microphone that I want to cover here, and those are the dynamic microphones that are supercardioid microphones. Here I have the ATR 2100 and the Beta 57A. These microphones I specifically use for podcasting purposes, whereas this one has the benefit of being also a USB microphone next to being a XLR microphone. The Beta 57A here is a pure XLR microphone, so that means that you will need an extra audio recorder or audio interface to connect this either to your computer or record in the field. These types of microphones pick up mostly from the front of the microphone. They're great for voice recordings where you are basically just speaking into them right like this. And they're great for podcasting or voice recording. I have a whole video dedicated to podcast recording where I also mention this VideoMic NTG for podcast recording because it is an incredible choice for that purpose as well. It sounds really crisp and clear and also is overall just very versatile. So these microphones are great for podcasting, and you can check out the video that I talked about these in the description down below. Now let's wrap this up, and between these microphones, what would I buy again? And I would have to say the best recommendation for its value and feature functionality is the VideoMic NTG. As you already know, I am using that right now outside the frame right here, and I can bring this up right here. Basically, this microphone sounds great, it is very versatile, and you can use it in multiple different scenarios. You can use it on top of your camera, which it is usually used for or advertised for. You can also use it on a boom arm like I am right now. You can additionally connect it via USB to your computer and also use it as a podcast microphone with the -20 dB pad. It has great characteristics for all of these purposes, and even though it may not perform utmost the best comparing it to all of these other microphones in their use cases, I find this the overall winner. I would go for this if I would have to choose between all of these microphones to just own one microphone. Now, if you know that you're going to move around in front of your camera a lot, for example, for sports videos and other type videos like that, I would go for the Rode Lavalier Go with a combination of the Wireless Go. This gives you a great wireless set. It is tiny, it is rechargeable, you can move around in front of your camera, and you have a great sounding Lavalier microphone as well. My partner Nicole uses this setup for live streaming her yoga sessions and also creating yoga videos on her channel as well. If you want to check that out, I'll have a video with her explaining the setup process as well as what she's doing in a video on my channel, and that's linked in the description below. If you know you're going to do podcasts only and no video work whatsoever, I would probably start out with the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 or the comparable Samson Q2U, which is more widely available, especially in Europe. Now, to start out, this microphone is great. It is under $100, it has an XLR and USB connection, so you can just start using it with your computer, and you can also use this very easily for remote interviews. Of course, you're not going to get the utmost quality at that price point, but for starting out, it may be just enough. Now, if you are also considering of doing video work next to podcasting work and you want to upgrade both at the same time, I would go for the VideoMic NTG, which gives you the possibility to connecting it to your computer for podcasting and also put it on top of your camera or off camera for video work and improving that as well. Using something like this for video work kind of works. However, you will have to bring it up very close to your mouth to have great sound, and you cannot use this type of microphone on top of your camera. Now, in podcasting, it is very common to also interview someone. So there you will have to have two microphones. For a basic set, I would go for twice the Shure Beta 57A, some XLR cables, as well as an audio recorder like the Zoom H5. Now, I also have learned that the Zoom PodTrack 4 is an alternative for this specific purpose that might even be a little cheaper than the Zoom H5. So that's a topic for another day, to kind of like look for the best possible audio recorder for the purpose that you want to use it for. If you want to use an extremely high quality recorder, I would probably go for the Zoom F6 because it gives you the freedom of never clipping your audio and just being able to run with it. Now, of course, this is a more expensive set with around $500 initial investment, but it is also a set that gives you the freedom of both people having a great microphone, and also with the audio recorder, the audio will be in sync very, very well. Now, if you are starting out with two USB microphones, for example, or want to use two ATR 2100 on one computer, that can work. However, more often than not, I have found that that is not going to be flawless. So using a hardware recorder with two people or more is definitely a plus once you go into the post-editing and you don't want to mess with any of the additional stuff there. Now, this is my overview of these different types of microphones, starting from headphone sets that come with your phone over to lavaliers and wireless microphones, then also the directional microphones that are on camera or off camera, and then podcasting with different types of microphones. Now, please consider there are tons of different reasons for picking up different types of microphones, and you may have a different opinion on that. Please share those in the comment section down below so that we can learn from each other. That would be amazing. And also, if you find something that fits your needs better in a store or anything like that, that is great as well. As I've mentioned before, the use case that I have here is always to consider that it is travel-friendly, mobile, not super expensive, and easily workable. At the end, you might have noticed my favorite is the Rode VideoMic NTG right here. With its versatility for multi-purpose use, it is really great. Now, if you can afford it or want to only do one specific type of thing, then it is better to look into the more specified microphones that are really good at that one thing. For example, the Shure Beta 57A or similar microphones for podcasting. Now, as I've mentioned before, you will find the playlist as well as all the different videos that I have made about these different types of microphones in the description down below. There you will learn more about the different use cases, also can listen to sound samples of how these different microphones sound in different types of environments, all recorded in this room, which is not perfectly sound treated, but also great in that regard because that gives you more of a realistic view of what it would sound like if you, for example, go to someone else's studio room or living room or something to record your podcast with them or any other type of media. Now at the end, please leave your questions and feedback in the comment section down below. Also, like this video if it was helpful for you so that other people can find this information more easily as well. And subscribe to my channel for more videos like this as well as on other topics. Now I hope you make great content, videos, podcasts, and all the other media types with this newfound knowledge. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.